Pulling out rat's tissue, happy feet.
Because it's not my job.
$20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner, boy, and don't be late.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Hair long days with my shoes shine black. One little lady walks that street, selling all the rat's tissue, happy feet.
Because it's not my job.
$20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner,
Hey!
don't be late.
Oh! Hey,
I'm a little pimp with the hair gas back.
hello everyone, how's it been? What a week. Oh, hey. Oh. My name's Chris Quinlan, welcome to Melbourne Musos Facechook Live, and that's my pooch barking at the back. All of a sudden he knows it's 6 o'clock and he's not getting doggy beach, so there he is, he's gonna harangue the set. Oh, rats tests, everybody, hot rats. Hey, everyone's trying to get them. My mate Marcus has told me there's none in 3030 where we live. Hey, so hot rats. Hot Rats album, Frank Zappa. Why not? Here it is here. Ooh, this is older than nearly everyone. I bought this about 3 years after it was released. There you go. Maybe a year after that, maybe about 73. Around about the same time I started drumming. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Frank Zappa, the Hot Rats album. We're all after a couple of hot rats, aren't we? Anyway, so what's going on is that, and the little poppets, I want them to play drums, not get on the forklift. Oh, what a week. Oh, that was a good decision. Vaudeville, I tells you. And it's not here. This is a drum lesson. Okay, so as I said, my name's Chris Quinlan. This is a little bit of a homage to the Hot Rats album. What better time to talk about it? One of the Frank Zappa classic albums. Did you know that the last time I was going to go to the concert hall was to see Dweezil Zappa in around about May 2020. And he, with his Zappa Plays Zappa, which is an incredible band, and he was going to play the Hot Rats album in its entirety. So there you go. That was actually the last proper concert that I was going to go to with all my prog rock mates, all the lads. Hello lads, if you're watching, Ange and Kev and everyone, Matthew. And what goes on is that that album was essentially his breaking out of the Mothers of Invention. It was recorded with him and Ian Underwood, who did all the horns. Everything you hear on that album as far as any kinds of horns and stuff like that are all overdubbed by Ian Underwood. You know, so on the back cover of the album, there's the two of them there. There's Frank, and there's Ian Underwood right there. There you go. And the rest of the album is put together with various musos. Sugarcane Harris on violin. Oh my Lord, what a gun. And there you go. So that's Hot Rats, very appropriate for this time. And featuring one Mr. Captain Beefheart. There you go. I'll put him there. And what happens? He is the definitive Willie the Pimp. There you go. And what happens? I'm going to go a little bit through the album. One of the classic intros is... Peaches and Regalia. There you are. One of the classic intros. There's your first tip for the night. There you go. So there it is. Now, what we're talking about tonight, it's a funny thing because I'm going to bring in orchestration of beats. How you can take an album like Hot Rats, and it's an instrumental album apart from Captain Beefheart singing Willie the Pimp, right? And so what do you do with those long-ended, instrumentals that go on for ages and all that? Hot Rats itself is one of the albums that actually pretty much started to define jazz rock before it got rebooted as Fusion. There you go. Fusion. I prefer jazz rock. And what goes on is that what you can do is orchestrate your beats. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through a couple of things and applicable to what you're hearing on the Hot Rats album. Okay, so what happens is, one of the things about these kinds of shows, you probably notice it on your subscription channels where they do, the Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, 1966 and all this sort of stuff. And then you listen to the background music and it's not really the music because you need to license it. I have a bit of trouble with the Blues Brothers. Every time I want to do the Penguin, it goes boom, blocked. And I said, but it's community. I know the rules. I mean, it got spelt out to me in 1995 and then updates as copyright changes. So I know that, but it gets, nah, you're not using our Penguin scene. Got to go see the Penguin. And don't come back until you've seen Melbourne Musos Facechook live. That's what I had last week, but it got chopped. But what it is so I'm not really going to play per se. I'm not going to do a drum cover per se. What I want to do is orchestrate the beats so that you can start to get a few ideas when, we're getting into a long-ended solo. And so on it goes. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about to get into this, and with this I'm going to start talking about press rolls as well. So it sounds a little bit disjointed, but I'll bring it all together as we go along. Now, what I'm going to do now is play a crotchet rock beat. Okay, now we usually have it like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, that kind of thing. First thing I'm doing is the rim shot. There you go, give it a bit of a spank. 1 and 2 and 3 and normal. Nothing wrong with that. 3 and 4 and rip shot. Gives it a real ping, you see. The room clearer. Don't need rim shots for clearing rooms these days, do we? Again, I wanted to go to a gig last night. If Bernadette's out there, I wanted to go to your gig last night, but I couldn't. So anyway, we'll get there. So what happens is I'm going to turn that into a crotchet rock beat. So I'm going to do this. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 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 Now, let's put our metronome on.
I don't hold those, mate.
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Pair of khaki pants with my shoes shine back. Got a little lady who walks that street, shelling out rice, this can't be beat.
So there you go, there's our metronome.
$20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner, boy, don't be late.
So, there it is. Now, first thing I'm going to do, there's your crotchets, right? One beat each, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Put a bit of swing in it. Now, here's a little something for you. Right-handed snare. Search out all the different sounds for your snare drum. Boing, boing, boing. And then hi-hat. 1, 2, Bonham jingles there. Now here's a bit of a New Orleans thingy-majiggy. A press with the left hand. Oh. Mix it with the rim shot.
Hot rats, hot tits, hot forks, hot pork. Hot rats, hot tits, hot forks, hot pork. Hot rats, hot tits,
There you
hot
go.
forks.
Ba-da-bow, ba-dum-boom, ba. And there's a little bit of a New Orleans thing. Bring in your triplets. A triplet is a group of 3 notes played in the time of 2. And 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Hey, there it is there. So what you've got there is a nice little funky groove really, all coming from there. Basic beat. Get that right. I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Hot rats. Hot there. Hot rats. Hot pork. Hot forklift. Little poppets driving around in forklift. Grand Theft Auto. The Forklift edition. Then you go here. See there. Hi-hat 4. Always gives it a bit of a bump. Bring in the triplets and the press. Now, I'm going to talk about the press roll a little bit because it's probably the least taught. And what happens is a press is a multiple stroke roll. A press, a buzz, multiple bounce, okay? The Yankees like to change all the names. But what happens is that the press roll is a multiple stroke. So what happens is what you want to try and do is at the beginning, just get your stick and just drop it onto the drum and should have same feeling as dropping a ball. Then what you do is you glide it in. So you get the typical, can you roll your rats test? There you go. Rats test. Oh, got a bit of feedback there. Oh, hello. There you go. So there's that. Now what happens is when you start doing a press roll, nice and loose. Loosey-goosey. And get it just like that. Nice and lumpy. Lumpy gravy. Then you build it up. Can I have a drum roll, please? Now what happens with the press roll is that that's my flow there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and quavers. Go and see the beloved Evelyn Glennie, of whom she would probably have a slight heart attack at watching one of her sticks get belted like this, but that is her there. Evelyn Glennie, that's a beautiful drumstick, and I believe it's been discontinued. Another stupid decision. I don't hold the hose, mate. And I don't know why I just said that. But what happens is Evelyn Glennie has a thing on YouTube, the 30-minute press roll. Now, that takes me back to my days at the brass band, where I'd have to do... Anzac Day is one thing, but Remembrance Day is a whole other ball of twine, kettle of fish, and you're doing hymns a lot. It's a much more somber kind of a day. And what goes on is that I'd be called on to do press rolls through the hymns. And that's one of the things dear old Ronnie Ruth say, oh, Chris, I just press roll through the hymns. As if it was easy. I'm sitting there, standing there. Hey, and what goes on is when you're dealing with the flow of press rolls, when you're actually doing them, it's not a scratch roll where you get oh, my Lord, don't hold the hose, my Lord. Not my job. But what goes on is you actually keep going with the flow of whatever the rate of the music is. So if it's triplets, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a press, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2, 4, mark. Got nothing to do with hot rats, but if there's presses there. There it is there. And that's something with presses there. In other words, the slower the better. Let the sticks just glide along. A good press roll is not like that. A good press roll is to do with the rate of the piece of music you're playing, whether it's in 6/8 or 2/4, which is the standard marching time signatures. And it's also got to do with just keeping the flow. One great little exercise is the Cod Liver Oil by Ed Shaughnessy, very famous drummer for Johnny Carson's Tonight Show for so many years with the Doc Severinsen band. I don't know why he called it the Cod Liver Oil, apart from the obvious it must have given him the shits. Hey! It starts with a press, and then you get to a double, then you go to a single, then a double, press, double, single, double, press, double, single, double, press, double, single, double. Oh, my wrists are falling off. And that's what goes on there, you see. Ah. All right, I'm going to talk about the Hot Rats album now. Hey, bit of a jump. I've got my trusty iPad on now. Oh, what happened there? Hey, don't do that. Come back to me. All right. Let me see. Home to unlock. Hello! Hot Rats is the second solo album by Frank Zappa, released in October 1969. It was Zappa's first recording project after the dissolution of the original version of the Mothers of Invention. 5 of the 6 songs are instrumental, while Willie the Pimp features vocals by Captain Beefheart. In his original sleeve note, Zappa described the album as a movie for your ears. Meh. There you go. What happens is it goes... Oh, well, I'm reading straight off here. But because... I'll keep on going. Because Hot Rats largely consists of instrumental jazz-influenced compositions with extensive soloing, the music sounds very different from early Zappa albums, which featured satirical vocal performances with extensive use of musique concrète. I don't think I knew. And editing. Multi-instrumentalist Ian Underwood is the only member of the Mothers to appear on the album and was the primary musical collaborator. Other featured musicians were bassist Max Bennett and Shuggy Otis, who was only 15 years old at the time of the session. I wonder if he learned to drive a forklift as well, given he was 15. And drummers John Guerin, Paul Humphrey, and Ron Selico. And electric violinist Don Sugarcane Harris and Jean-Luc Ponty. Ooh, he's French as well. I know, I did not need to read that. I knew. This was the first Frank Zappa album, recorded on 16-track equipment, and one of the first albums to use this technology. Machines with 16 individual tracks allow for much more flexibility in multi-tracking and overdubbing than the professional 4- and 8-track reel-to-reel tape recorders that was standard in 1969. Sgt. Pepper's was recorded on an 8-track, which was state-of-the-art. Then a couple of years later, ooh, look at that, 16 tracks. Let's go to town, Ian. And off they went, and there you have it. One of the things about the vinyl, and when you pour it, this is the Australian, it's only single, but there's a gatefold out there, and what happens is that with this, you have all the different names down the bottom here, but it doesn't give you all the information and stuff. But it is, for a long time I thought it was John Guerin doing the classic intro to Peaches and Regalia, because even with the old instrumental through the 90s, even if we did our thing and we had the unlikely encore, it was a good night. They were always big nights, that was great. But all I had to do was play the intro, and everybody knew what to do. Everyone just locked straight in. And it was, I thought for a long time it was played by John Guerin, and so did a lot of other people, but in this fine print, Ron Selico actually played it, the only track he's ever played. And I do believe Mr. Zappa just sort of said, give me an intro. He didn't write it out, it was just like drum intro to the piece. So Ron Selico is in a little tiny bit of history, in the sense that it's the only track he's ever played with Frank Zappa as far as anyone knows. And he came up with one of the most celebrated drum intros in rock and roll history. And so on it goes, you see. So it's like, oh, I cocked that up. There it is there. I've done it before, and I just thought I'd put that in because that's one of the great tracks from Zappa. He ended up doing 3 versions, Peaches and Regalia, this one. He called it Peaches 2 with Flo and Eddie at live at the Fillmore, and they just sang it. La, 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 la. And that was great. That was a funny band. And the one that we did, the old band used to do, was Peaches 3, which is the real ratcheted up version. That had Vinnie Colaiuta on drums. It was crazy. I've done it on the show. It was only on a month ago for Christmas, because it was Zappa Claus. So I won't repeat it here, but it had lots of great little parts. And very, very good. It's off the Tinseltown Rebellion album, which I'll put there. And it's a great little thing. So there you go. Great little album. Very fun album. Great, really good album, actually. I really like that. The cover art by Cal Schenko is brilliant. It's a masterpiece. So what you've got is Peaches and Regalia. The aforementioned Willie the Pimp. You've got Son of Mr. Green, Jeans. You're green. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. Ba-bum. Sauerkraut, and go have a listen. And it's all Ian Underwood with all these intricate overdubs using the 16-track, which was the state of the art at the time. There you go. Hey. Then on side 2, you've got Little Umbrellas, double bass, very nice little tune. Then the Gumbo variations, where Sugarcane Harris goes fully sick, and then It Must Be a Camel. Apparently, the title, It Must Be a Camel, came from all the big jumps he got Ian Underwood to do. And when you looked at the little black dots, it looked like a camel. It was like, there's the hump, there's the hump. And I was like, it must be a camel. So quite interesting. I love the way he comes up with names, even though they're a bit naughty most of the time. Oh, I'm already up to my time.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Hair of khaki pants with my shoes shine back. Got a little lady who walks that street, shelling out rats till she can't be beat. $20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner, boy, don't be late.
Now,
I don't hold a hose, mate.
I'm a little pimp
let's
with
go
my
over
hair
everything.
gas back.
Basic rock beat, a bum bum. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, right hand.
$20 bill, I can set you straight.
So right hand to the snare drum. Hi-hat on 2 and 4, give it a bit of
I
pep.
don't hold a hose, mate.
How about a hi-hat, mate?
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Hair of khaki pants with my shoes shine
Chris?
back. Got a little lady who walks that street, shelling out rats till she can't be beat. $20 bill, I can set you straight.
Couple of triplets in there.
On the corner, boy, don't be late.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Hair of
So,
khaki
that's what you
pants
got
with
there?
my shoes shine back. Got a little lady who walks that street, shelling out rats till she can't be beat. $20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me
Try
on
and
the
follow
corner,
the
boy,
melody line.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Hair of khaki pants with my shoes shine back. Got a little lady who walks that street,
Trying to find a rat's test.
can't be beat. $20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner, boy, don't be late.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
Double paradiddle here.
Pimp with my hair gas back. Hair of khaki pants with my shoes shine back. Got a little lady who walks that street, shelling out rats till she can't be beat.
That was a sneaky single.
$20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner, boy, don't be late.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
Hey! Oh, I enjoyed doing that. So, I'll wrap the show up. What happens just before I finish? With Willie the Pimp. We did a wonderful version of that with dear Richard Piper. Where are you? Where are you now? Richard, my lord, they were crazy days back in the mid-90s. Woof! There you have it. And wishing you all my love. That was such a wonderful time. The perfect Willie. And what happens is you can't do that on stage anymore. Volume 4, I think. There is that kind of a version of Willie the Pimp where Captain Beefheart goes to town when he was with Zappa during that tour in '75, and a young Terry Bozzio on drums, and you get that kind of bongo fury. Opaque melodies which bumbles people. Sam with the showing scalp top. And it was that real laid back, real and once again with the press. Try and get the press going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I've got it going for a minute. On a boop, a ding, up a doom, I'm having too much fun here. There you have it. There's that. The press. I don't know why I did that. It was totally unscripted. I was just having a bit of fun. Anyway, I'm going to hightail it out here. And I hope you enjoyed everything tonight. It's hot rats, mate. Hot rats. Eeyore. Hot rats. I'm a little pimp with the hair gas back. Oh, I'm out of here. Oh, I'll have this up tomorrow for you all. Hey. Hope you all get your rats test soon if you need them. Hey.
You know, I don't hold a hose, mate.
I don't hold a hose, mate.
I'm a little pimp with my hair gas back. Hair cocky pants with my shoes shine black. Got a little lady who walks that street, shelling out rats till she can't be beat.
Because it's not my job.
$20 bill, I can set you straight. Meet me on the corner, boy, and don't be late.
You know, I don't hold a hose, mate.
Okay. A little to your right. To your right. No, Tyler, to your right. Brakes.
We agreed to proceed no further with the issue of 16-year-old forklift drivers.